Hammond was a sleepy little town. Yep, sleepy as it is right now. It was once noisy enough, and what made all the noise was rats. The place was so infested with them, well, it was to be scarce worth living in. There wasn't a barn or a corn rick or a storeroom or a cupboard for that matter. But, they ate their way into it all. Not a cheese, but they gnawed it hollow. Not a sugar bag, but they cleared the whole thing out. Why, the very meat and the beer in the barrels was not safe from them rats. No, it wasn't safe. They'd gnaw a hole at the top of the cask, and down would go one master rat's tail. And when he brought it back up, why, round would call the crowd all round, friends, cousins, all the rats, and they would have a good old suck on that tail. Well, had they stopped here, it might have been bearable, but the squeaking and the shrieking, why, the hurrying and the scurrying, why, well, you couldn't neither hear yourself speak, nor get a wink of good honest sleep of the long-lived night. Not to mention that Mama must need sitting up and keep watch and ward over the baby's cradle. Well, if she didn't do that, why, there would have been a big ugly rat running across poor little fella's face and doing God knows what else mischief. Why, it did no good, people of town, to have cats. Why, well, all they did was stand up and fright. In the end, the rats, there were just too many of them, and the kitty cats were driven away from the fields. Poison? Poison? Why, they poisoned as many as they could fairly breed a plague. Rat catchers? Why, there wasn't a rat catcher from Johnny Groat's house to the land's end that hadn't tried his luck at catching rats. But do what they might, the cats, the poison, the terrier dogs, all the traps, why, there seemed to be more rats than ever, and every day a fresh rat was cocking his tail or pricking his whiskers. The mayor of the city and the town council, why, they're at their wits' end. As they were sitting one day in the town hall, racking their poor brains and bewailing their hard fate, while you should run in, but the town crier. Please, your honor, he said, here is this very strange fella right outside. He's come to town, and I don't hardly know what to make of him. Well, what you mean? 'Cause I just have to show him in. Okay, well, show him in, said the mayor. And this strange fella, why, truly he was, for there wasn't a color of the rainbow that you might find in it in some corner of his garment, and he was tall, and he was thin, and had a keen piercing look about his eyes. I'm called the Pied Piper, he began, and I pray that might you be willing to pay me if I rid you of every single rat in this here town. Well, much as they feared the rats, why, they feared parting with their money much more. And they would have rightly higgled and haggled, but the Pied Piper, he was not a man to stand on any of that nonsense. And the upshot was there was going to be about $50. $50 was promised to him, and I meant It was a lot of money back in them days. Well, as soon as not a rat was left to squeak or scurry in this old town. Out of the hall stepped the piper, and as he stepped he laid his pipe to his lips, and a shrill, keen tune sounded through that street and house, every street and house in the whole town. And as each note pierced the air, you might as well have seen a strange sight, because out of every house, every hole, why, a rat came tumbling out. There was none too old or none too young, none too big, none too little. The crowd down around by the piper's heels, and with eager feet and upturned noses to patter after him as he paced around in the streets. Nor was the piper unmindful of the little toddling ones, for every 50 yards or so he'd stop, and he'd give a little extra flourish on his pipe just to give them time to catch up with him and all the older and stronger rats. Up Silver Street he went and down Gold Street, and at the end of Gold Street is a harbor, and, well, there was the river beyond that, and as he paced along slowly and gravely, the townsfolk, they flocked to the doors and windows lining that little river road, and many a blessing they called down upon his head. As for getting near him, there were too many rats. Well, and now that he was at the water's edge, he stepped into a boat, and not a rat as he shoved off into the deep water, piping shrilly all the while, but following him, splashing and paddling and waggling their tails with delight, well, all the rats, one on top of the other. And on he played, and he played, and he played, and he played until the tide went down, and each master rat sank deeper and deeper in the slimy ooze of the harbor, till every mother son of them was dead and smothered. The tide rose again, and the piper he stepped up on the shore, but never a rat followed. Oh, no. You many fancy town folks had been throwing up their caps and hurrahing and stomping up and down, and they were stopping up the rat holes and setting the church bells a-ringing. But when the piper he stopped playing and stepped ashore, and not so much as a single squeak was to be heard, the mayor and the council and the townsfolk, why, generally, they began to hum and haw and to shake their heads, while they acted like they never saw that piper before. Now, the town's money chest had been sadly emptied out of us as of late, and, well, where there should have been $50, well, there was nothing, and where was $50 gonna come from? Oh, it was such an easy job, too, just getting up on a boat and playing a little flute, and why, the mayor himself could have done that if only he had thought about it. I mean, well, he hummed it hard, and at last the mayor said, "Come on now, my good man. You see what poor folks we are here. How can we manage to pay you $50 when you not take 20? Wouldn't it be easy enough to take 20? We're poor." Well, when all was said and done, it will be good pay for the trouble that piper had taken, but he shook his head no, and he said, £50 is what I bargained for, and if I were you, I would fork over $50 right now. I can play my pipes many kind of ways, as sometimes folks find to their cost. You better pay up, or else. Would you? How dare you threaten us, you vagabond? Shrieked the mayor, and at the same time he winked at the council. The rats are all dead and drowned, muttered he, and so you may do your worst, good man. And with that he turned short upon his heel and he went back inside. Well, very well then, said the piper, and he smiled a big old smile. And with that, he laid his pipe to his lips afresh, but now there came forth no shrill notes, oh no, as it were of scraping and gnawing and squeaking and scurrying, but a tune that was so joyous and resonant, so full of happy laughter and merry play, and as he paced down to the street, why, the elders, they were mocking him. But from the schoolrooms, and the playrooms, and from the nurseries and the workshops, not a child but ran out with eager glee and shout, followed by gaily following the piper's call, dancing and laughing, joining hands and tripping feet, while the bright throng moved along up Gold Street, down Silver Street, and beyond Silver Street lay the cool green forest of old oak trees and wide-spreading beeches. In and out among the oak trees you might catch a glimpse of the piper's many-colored coat as he piped along, while you might hear the laughter of all them children break and fade and die away as deeper and deeper in the lone green wood of the strange forest went the children, and they just followed him along, followed the stranger deep into the woods. All the while the elders, they watched and they waited and they mocked no longer now, oh no. And watch and waited as they might, they never did set their eyes again upon the piper, never again. And never were their hearts so gladdened by the song and dance of children issuing forth from amongst the ancient oaks of the forest. Why, they never saw them children again.